Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And for those of you that don't know our story, Ron and I did 15 years in the prison system. While Ron did time on the inside, the kids and I did the time on the outside.
And out of our experience, we were able to develop a powerful, life-changing curriculum called TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Or a founding father.
That's right.
And so what our mission and our passion is to help dads become leaders in their homes, their communities, and their workplace. Because we've been there, done that, and we totally understand the journey that you're on.
Now we know, and we really believe there's no such thing as a self-made man. And so we know that by applying these principles in your life, not only will it change the direction you're headed, right, but it will empower you to empower others on how to become successful wherever they're at.
So we are really happy to have you join us today on the show. We're going to be talking about health. And health is really, really important. If you want to be a leader in your family and you really want to be successful, you've got to be thinking about every area of your life. And one of the things that often falls to the wayside and to the bottom of the list is your health.
And we're talking about like your mental health. We're talking about not
physical
only,
health.
If you're physical health, we're talking about everything. You know, I know a lot of times, I know in history, when I was in penitentiary, we did a lot of two-a-days, right? This was the first time I started working out for real. I started really starting to think, you know, I'm not consuming McDonald's or thinking about the fast food and really with the proper diet that they gave us, right? Proper diet, right? We got just enough calories that we wouldn't die. Right?
Is that what it felt like?
That's what it felt like.
They're just barely keeping me alive.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So we are so thrilled and excited to have with us today a very dear friend of ours.
She's more a friend of mine.
Yeah, well, she's a friend of Catherine's, and she's an acquaintance of mine.
I'm just kidding.
Actually, she's awesome. She's our friend, and we're just so thankful to have her with us. And so you do not want to miss this show because we're going to be able to give you not only some information that will help you in the future, but it will impact you right now, right where you're at.
Right. So stay tuned. When we come back, we are going to have our special guest, Marriah from Molina. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And today we have with us very special guest, Marriah
Kornwa.
Kornwa. Is that a great last name?
Yes, yeah, you got it right.
From Molina. So tell us a little bit, Marriah, about who you are. What do you do?
Sure. My name is Marriah Kornwa, and I am with Molina Healthcare. Molina has been around for about 30 years, primarily providing government programs for healthcare. So like Medicaid, Medicare. That's really important as far as what we're going to talk about today. But what we've found in this political climate is if you don't use it, we are very much at risk of losing it. So helping folks understand the value of that, and men as a new demographic within Medicaid expansion, how to start prioritizing your health and what impact that has to your family.
Wow. So since we work with the fathers and the men that are incarcerated, right, that's a whole different...
And through their transition back into their homes and their communities.
So what you get to do is really bring that education and that seriousness. Listen, taking care of yourself while you're in there is one thing, but when you get out and you're bombarded with everything, you may not have a job, you may not have this, what you get to do is help people navigate, right, to understand This is important part of your life.
Here's I have a question, because I think when we hear the word health, you know, like we might think, okay, once a year we go and we get a health check. So I feel like when I talk to you, there's so much more that you see as health. So what exactly are we talking about when we talk about health?
Sure. Well, we have the physical side, right? If you have diabetes, you see a doctor about your diabetes. You fall and break your arm, you go and get an x-ray. If you struggle with any type of mental health issues, it's just as important and integral to your overall health. And I really even don't think you can have physical health without mental health.
You know, just recently, Cathy, she reads a lot, so she threw me a new stat. The life expectancy of a man who comes out of prison.
Oh, yeah, this was like just shocking that they said that the new study showed that for every year that a man or a woman, someone's in prison, that they lose 2 years off of their life span. So if they're in for 10 years, then statistically they could lose 20 years off of the lifespan. So that makes health even more important.
Yes, and I think as it relates to families, men are the leaders within that family. So if you're not prioritizing your health or leading by example, well, then my health's not important as a partner or as a child. So we have to lead by example and prioritize our health. And again, coming out of prison, we have to acknowledge the loss that's involved with being in prison in the first place and the response to trauma.
Well, you know what? That is powerful, because what we do is we do fatherhood. And we work with men who have children, maybe from multiple women, but really get them to understand that the mantle that they're carrying isn't heavy, and it's doable with proper preparation. Right? And I think that piece, the health piece, is so vital because we take it for granted.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? We take everything for granted. But one of the things that is always stressed for, I think, in prison is the physical, you know, the working out. You know, you get a lot of men doing what they call 2-a-days, and they're working out in the morning, and they really take care of the physicalness. They start to really change that.
I wouldn't say a lot. But I'm going to say some.
Well, some.
And it's an outlet.
Well, what I'm saying is, when I say a lot, I'm saying I think that's stressed more.
The emphasis is there.
Yeah, the emphasis,
when it comes to
that's what I mean
health,
by that.
it's the physical
It's the
workout
physical.
session.
It's not really, because if we got a mental dilemma, we're in denial.
Right. But I have to interject here that having been in behavioral health and addiction services before I focused in on healthcare and all health, this is the one place where I can see progress happening. I would sit at information tables and say, hey, I have information about addiction. Nobody wants to talk to me, right? Nobody wants to acknowledge our own struggles.
Yes.
We put ourselves and everybody else on a pedestal. We measure ourselves against others. But the one place where I can truly see progress in stigma busting with mental health is in reentry. When folks are coming out now, they're addressing their mental health issues, and that's a very brave and manly thing.
You know,
That is, absolutely.
So that's what my point was. When guys are inside, you know what? I don't want nobody to know I'm depressed.
Absolutely.
I don't want nobody to know that I'm sad or I'm having
anxious
or whatever's going on.
But did that not happen to you and just about anybody you knew at some point?
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And so, really seeking that, I didn't even know. I remember a phase I went through when I was incarcerated. I was young. I was 25 when I went in. So I really started, a guy came up to me and they said, TJ, man, why are you smiling all the time? I said, man, he said, man, listen, man, you're in prison. It's okay to be sad.
Yeah.
You don't have to put on this false bravado all the time, man.
Yeah.
We get it.
And as a father, you carry that with you as that responsibility as well. So being truthful and transparent about the struggles that we face is really important too.
Yeah, because it's trauma.
Yes.
Penitentiary is trauma, the shock and awe of what it means, and then really to go on a path of recovery.
And through that recovery, here specifically that I'm engaged with Lucas County is our reentry process. And folks instantly come out and say, I need a job. I need, child support assistance. I need my license. I need housing.
Yeah.
But none of that is achievable if you are not paying attention to your internal needs and that struggle along the way. And help is out there. Treatment works. You are not alone. There's great programs out there to support you. You have to engage.
We addressed a little bit on why this is important. So when we come back.
We talked more about what are we talking about?
Sure.
We're talking about physical health. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about overall health so that you can be successful and achieve your dreams. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about why this is so important for you as a dad. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina, and we have with us today Marriah from Molina.
That's right, Marriah from Molina.
That's so fun to say.
I know, they get it mixed up when they, are you Molina? Well, I guess so.
You know what? We are so thankful that you're able to come on your busy schedule, to travel over here, out of your way,
I
to
appreciate
come be
being
with
here.
us
Yeah.
and really to help and bring this vital information for the people that we get to serve, that we get to help, the men that are incarcerated and the women that are incarcerated, that we get to really, fatherhood is really dear to my heart. And if we can create healthy fathers, so especially when they're coming out of that environment, back into their home, and they're starting to get everything together, that's what why is this so important, the why factor?
Right. I think, you said it yourself. I mean, they are, I equate fathers as leaders, naturally. So I think taking on the responsibility of what it means to be a leader, you have to be healthy, you have to have good communication skills, follow through, and all of that stuff. You have a big barrier if you're not addressing your mental health, just like your physical health. If you are tired every single morning, you need to get help for that. Sometimes we put a block on moving forward and we don't know why. And it's a chemical imbalance. So I think a lot of times we look at it as a weakness. If we are not addressing our mental health, or if we have mental health issues to begin with, well then you're weak. Not at all. There could be an imbalance, or you haven't dealt with the trauma that you've experienced. So that whole process to reintegrate is cumbersome. But knowing that you're not alone, that treatment works, that it doesn't mean anything less of you to seek treatment, and actually makes you stronger. And again, as your role as a father, how that transfers to children valuing their own health. Our kids, and actually the statistics are 1 in 4 people struggle with some kind of mental health disorder.
Wow.
That's probably very underreported and more likely 1 in 3. So 1, 2, 3. Well, I'll admit I have my own struggles. We all do at different times. And I think instead of looking at it as mental illness, it really should be mental wellness. We all have different things that come in our life, but if we do not give attention and process to the things that keep us down, we won't get past it.
You talked a little bit earlier, you just mentioned like self-care.
Yes.
Sorry, you mentioned self-care. So when we think about self-care, why is that important?
Well, so who is your biggest enemy? Being in prison, I'm sure you could have pointed at a few people, but ultimately,
It was
the
me.
person that stood in your way and was hardest on you,
Was the guy I was looking at in the mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think finding ways to practice self-love, self-forgiveness is sometimes something that we attribute to somebody else's responsibility, or it's not important for me, or I don't deserve it. Everybody deserves it.
We find, I'm gonna cut you off, we find that the women who, their husbands or their man is incarcerated, that self-love principle where they wanna,
That self-care is so lacking.
Yeah,
It
they
is
don't-
such a huge obstacle because they're so busy taking care of dad,
Everybody else's needs.
taking care of their kids,
Yep.
taking care of everything else, that they don't go to the doctor. They notice something, maybe, and then they're feeling all the stress and anxiety, and there's some sort of physical sickness, and they just put it off.
And so one of the things we teach the men that come to our program is, listen, it's not all about you, Dad.
Right.
Encourage your wife or the mother of your children to take time out for herself.
Absolutely.
She is giving out so much throughout the day, and at the end of the day, when she wants to read a book or do something that is relaxing for her,
And
she's not
detoxing.
not gonna do it. She's gonna go lay down because she's too tired.
She's
There's still more
exhausted.
pressure. There's still more work to be done.
Yep.
But there's always going to be pressure. There's always
Yep.
going to be more work to be done.
Yep.
And at some point, you have to stop and pay attention to your own needs,
Yep.
what your body is telling you,
Yep.
and act accordingly.
Yep.
We ignore red flags in
Oh,
relationships,
yeah.
in health, in
Yep.
all kinds of arenas. So if we don't stop and listen to what your intuition, your gut is telling you, you're ignoring another red flag, and you're going to end up in another situation that leaves
It's even
you
worse.
dealing with. Right. Yeah.
Because we let it go, we procrastinate, and now it's crisis.
Right.
And instead of recognizing those signs and saying, okay, you know what, I need to do something different. I know for us, like shutting down that whole self-care, I mean, we were running so hard for years, and then all of a sudden, I remember it too, like when we stopped, and we just stopped for a whole week, no phones, no work, and within, I don't know, an hour.
I mean, literally less than that, huh?
We both broke down crying.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, wow.
We were actually, somebody came, and this is what he said to me. He said, I'm going to send you and Cathy away for a week, but the deal is you can't take your daughter.
You can't
and
take any work.
You can't take
No
any
work.
work with you. You can't take your laptop. And so I'm going to send you to Montana.
Yeah.
Right? And so...
And he says, I feel like you guys aren't taking care of
This
yourselves.
is what
We're
he
like,
said.
oh, yeah, we eat right, we're working
Here's
out.
what he
Yeah, we're
said.
good.
He said, yes, but you can't let your work or your ministry or what you're doing become your mistress.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is what he said. What he said was.
And put so much energy there. So when we stopped, so I'm unpacking and I was like this rush of this letdown, and I'm sobbing. Ron's in the kitchen, so I walk around the corner and Ron is standing at the counter, gripping the counter, sobbing.
Oh, same thing, right?
And it's like we're both just crying. And he says, "Oh my gosh, like it's
needed this.
quiet,
Yeah.
it's still." We haven't been
I don't know what to
quiet.
do with
We
it.
don't know
Right.
what to do with it. It was
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so you just get in this groove, and the why is so huge because when we decompressed and we came back and we connected with our daughter, she settled down, you know?
Yeah, everybody feeds off of our energy,
Yeah.
and we don't realize that in our quest of critiquing ourselves and measuring ourselves and everything else, we're not able to give back to the people that we love because we're not loving ourselves.
Yeah. And feeling like, well, we can't stop because we can't let these people down. We can't let anybody down, so we can't stop, we can't stop.
Okay, but
we're
you're a
letting them
human,
down.
he's a human,
Yeah.
you make mistakes, we all still make mistakes
Right.
and are gonna keep making
That's
mistakes.
right.
It is about being able to step outside yourself and self-reflect, and then put into practice some of these self-caring things.
Just
And,
breathe
and
out.
it's something simple as, I just need 5 minutes by myself at the end of the day.
Yes.
Or it's
Yes.
being, I think having a process, you know, a lot of folks when they're re-entering, there's so many things that have to happen, but
It's
none of it
overwhelming.
happens overnight.
That's right.
And so the pressure and the, you know, again, self-criticism that it's not done yet, you know, that pressure. And then, you know, if you have other added responsibilities with spouse and children and you're still running,
Right.
You've got to find ways. And it could be something, I mean, self-care, just to go further into that,
Yes.
can be something as simple as, how many times have you taken a bubble bath? You know, I mean,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
that's quite a luxury that
That's
you're not
right.
awarded.
Yeah.
You know, other things like just spending time with people that are positive for you.
Yeah.
Find time and ways for self-care.
And when we think about, you know, why it's so important, we see that the guys that don't make it, the dads that don't make it, are the ones that don't take time for self-care, feel like they can't stop, and so then the pressure gets so great, they end up going back to what they used to know because it feels more comfortable because they're so stressed.
Well, what Cathy's referring to, and we see it a lot, when the pressure comes on, is, you know, you put enough pressure on a pipe, what happens?
Yeah.
Bust, right.
Yeah.
It busts.
Yeah.
So, but if what we try to do is to help these men and the fathers regulate.
Help you understand.
Right, understand that, look, you can just turn the valve down. If the
Yeah.
pressure's on, but let it seep just a little.
Yeah.
When you can absorb it, you can take it, you can see the challenge, and you can embrace it.
There's a place where stress is positive and helps us perform.
Yep.
But then when we get beyond that point, then it's trouble.
Yep.
So when we come back, we're going to talk. So now you're like, okay, now, oh gosh, now what do I do? Well, stay tuned because when we come back, Marriah from Melina is going to give some tips on how to actually take care of yourself. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned. Not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we have Marriah from Molina. Hi.
See, that's so fun to say.
Okay, so your introduction, I feel like, and I'm Marriah from Molina.
There you go.
Thank you.
Awesome, wonderful. You know what? We've been getting some really powerful information.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
But we want to now let's take everything we said and let's put a how to this.
Okay.
How do you do it?
So I think it's really important when before folks are released, they can connect into services, make sure that they have applied for their Medicaid benefits. Okay. Just really quick, that application and process is very simple. It's the same thing you would do at any of your job and family county offices to apply for either medical or cash assistance. That application is the same. You apply, they send it off to the state, and then once you are approved, you pick a plan. In the state of Ohio, we have 5 options: Molina, Paramount, United, CareSource, and Buckeye. So, and honestly, because we all offer what Medicaid tells us to offer, we really are very similar in option. We have some value-added benefits. That's where you can shop. I have to stand by Molina, of course, and say that what really matters to me is that our motto is we're your extended family. We come from a minority population and serving them. We were responding at hospitals and ERs and realized that that's not effective care. You need a relationship with your doctor. And I think this is one of the most important things is if you have a doctor in mind, ask them where they go and who they work with, and that's how you pick a plan. Otherwise, it doesn't matter where you go. The point is to get access to those benefits so that you can take care of your health, that there isn't something that's gonna stand in your way when there's an emergency that arises. However, when we go to the emergency room, we are often just band-aiding whatever the problem is, and we're not able to look at your whole health and make sure that you're getting all the needs met.
So I'm going to go back really quickly just to make sure that we're super clear. So can our dads and the men that are incarcerated actually apply for benefits before they're released?
Yes.
I thought that's what you said.
Yes,
Okay.
they will apply, and then it's usually 30, 60 days while the state is processing that application. Then they would pick a plan. If you do not pick a plan, it will be automatically selected for you. That's fine. The point is once you have benefits, is to look at all that covers. You have great opportunities to seek care, vision, dental, your medical benefits, all covered with $0 charges, no copays. Get the assistance while it's available to you, and prioritize your health. That way.
One thing I want to say
As
also,
you're getting up on your feet, one of the most important things is your health.
and I want to just say with that this is just to get you on your feet.
Right.
It's not only what I want to make sure that this isn't a lifelong this isn't a part of your life, man. It's just an event. Right, because we want to make sure these men are getting healthy. Here's your starting point, and then eventually you're going to get off.
Right.
Well, and that's once you are, so Medicaid is income based, so that is your free health care that for those that are under a certain level within the poverty guidelines. And then once you are working and making more money, there's graduated programs. So
Which is
it's
awesome.
a Medicaid
Yes.
spend down.
It's not an all or nothing.
Yes,
I
it's a
love
Medicaid
that.
spend out. Now, my issue is with men's health. Right now, it's available. You have Medicaid expansion. However, with things changing in our country, if we do not prove a demand, if we do not utilize and go to the doctor, we're at risk of losing that.
Yeah.
So we need folks to really make sure that, this is your chance. But for a population that's never had access before, especially from a Medicaid perspective, you had to be a single parent with children.
Right.
Now that men can qualify on their own, go ahead and prioritize your health. But where do you even start? You know, so often we hear of some adverse reactions to health. Early detection is key. Treatment does work, but if you're not going to the doctor, we're never going to know.
Right.
I think
You've got to
that's
start somewhere.
a great point.
So,
too.
okay, so when we think about how, so you say, okay, access benefits that you're eligible for. And so what are some other things when you think about, okay, now how do I do this? How do I prioritize my health?
Sure. Well, first of all, going into the doctor prepared, making sure you have a list of what your needs are, what your history is, even some of the family
Even
history
inside
stuff.
there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Those are all things that can be done in preparation. You have all of your documentation and things written down. I got to check these places for housing. I have these needs over here. Also, from a healthcare perspective, here's what my issues are. Here's what my history is. Here are the medications I'm on.
I hope I'm not catching you on off. Is there somebody in the institution that's trained to help these men
Fill out
get?
their papers?
We it depends on the different institutions,
Okay.
of course, but they are working more and more to have someone to help them connect to services on the outside. So getting them prepared for what does that process look like? It's one thing for us to think in our head, okay, I need these things, but I didn't realize I also need all of these things. We help fill in the blanks.
And something else I'm really hearing you say is, really we have to take self-responsibility for our own health.
Yes.
No.
Yes, and self-advocacy. So here's another piece of it that is true for any of the managed care plans is we work for you. So from a member services perspective, and you can always call them for any questions about the specifics within your managed care plan, but all of the managed care plans have nurse hotlines, have transportation support. The biggest barriers is access, being able to get there. So all of the plans, no matter who you go with, has transportation support, has those added value benefits.
I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Like, that's really great to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So really, gentlemen, there's no excuses why you can't get on this.
That's right.
Right? There's
That's
no
right.
excuses. They've addressed all these issues and all these barriers, and they're there to help you not only become healthy, but better for not only yourself, but for your family.
Right, and setting that example. So when we come back, we're going to tie it all together, and Marriah from Molina is going to give us 3 powerful tips of things you can do right now to improve your health.
So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we have with us, one more time, I'm going to say
No,
it.
let her say it.
And I'm Marriah Kornwa from Molina. Just wanted to do it myself
Nice.
this
Yeah,
time.
right,
that's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. But we have been listening and really learning a great deal of maybe something that we've heard about or something we don't even want to deal with because, you know what, I don't need that. I'm not, I've done prison. I've been in 15 years, man. There ain't nothing wrong with me.
Right.
You know what? There is, so.
Yeah, the stress, the post-traumatic stress is a big deal.
Yes.
So we only have a few more minutes before we come to the end of our time. So we want to really make sure that we leave all of our dads out there with 3 things that they can do right now.
Okay, so my first one is going to actually be 3 more things. So the first thing is tell me, or come up with things that you like about yourself. 3 things. Start with 3, come up with 5, come up with 10. Keep that list building of what it is that you like about yourself. You're your worst critic, start being your best friend. 2, I would say think about the things that you do like. It's easy. We could go on, and we just do not have enough time to talk about all the negatives and things we don't like out there. So switch it up. Let's talk about what we do like. Think about it, what you look forward to when you release, what you love about life, about your family, about whatever it is, so that you can start shifting your approach from the negative to the positive. And then 3, I would think, is going to be about a plan. So I'm one that when I write it down, it commits it to memory. Start working on that plan. And as far as specifically what it means to your health, what areas would you like to improve upon? What areas do you have questions with? And then finish that off with mental health and your plan for self-love.
Yeah, those are great tips. Those are great tips.
And that's something that you don't have to wait to do this. You can do it right now. Right now.
Right, because as you make health a priority, then you are setting that example for your children. Even though you may not have a lot of interaction with your kids right now because you're separated by space, but when you're talking about health, you're talking about getting checkups, you're encouraging, the caregiver and your wife or your girlfriend or your mom, even your sisters, everybody around you to be healthy, you're improving health outcomes for your children. And this is so important.
So dads, it's by leading by example. This is what we're talking about. When you take the initiative and get the understanding you need on how to become a healthier, stronger, fit, TYRO fit, right? A TYRO fit dad, mentally and emotionally and physically, man, you're on your way to success.
Right. So we want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey towards becoming a great dad.
And we want to thank Molina.
Thank you.
And
Thank
Mariah.
you. It is good.
Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
So thank you, as Cathy said, for allowing us to be part of your journey. And always remember, until next time, we are rooting for you.